up, yeah. I'm a good friend, so no escape. I'm not where you left me at all. So if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, oh no, nice rhythm, y'all. If you want to believe that anything can stop me, well, don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't start caring about me now. Aren't you the guy who tried to break me with doors and goodbye? No, it takes something to survive you. I'm better on the other side, yeah. I'm a good friend, oh no, it's scary. I'm not where you left me at all. If you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, oh, if you want to believe that anything can stop me, well, don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't start caring about me now. If you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you want to believe that anything can stop me, yeah. Don't show up, don't come out, no, stop me now, walk away, you know how, yeah. Don't start now.
Thank you very much, everyone. How's everyone doing this morning so far? We can feel that. Thank you so much for having us today. We'll get right into it. So, we are Ball in the House. We are a pop, R&B, soul, a cappella group. We love performing those genres of music. You know, whether it's music from today on the radio, music from the 1970s, or the sound of Motown, we do it all. And we're also a full-time touring a cappella group. We're based out of Boston, but well, we do a lot of different things. And being a full-time group, that means that we get to sing, perform, and make music for our job. This is our living. Wow, and being musicians, we do a lot of different things. We wear a lot of different hats when we work. Well, like we create our own musical arrangements, as in all the sound and music you're hearing today. We put that all together. We came up with that. We perform a lot of cover songs. You'll learn a little bit more about that later, perhaps. But we also love to perform and write our own original music, too. And then we get to record all that music in the studio. We have about 12 albums out and available. You can find us on Apple Music, Spotify, good old YouTube, and all that fun stuff. TikTok, too. And now, we also get to perform a lot of school assemblies, arts and education. You're about to see that right now. But we travel all around the country, performing in many different schools of all ages, of all different types and sizes. We do regular shows in theaters, performance arts centers, stadiums, everywhere. Well, I say everywhere. Well, we're lucky enough to say that we get to travel the world doing what we love. See, we've been a band for 25 years, and over the time we've been to, China, Russia, South Korea, Singapore. I gotta say, we're just so lucky to be doing this for a living.
Yes, we are indeed lucky, Kevin. Now, Kevin also mentioned that we're an a cappella group. Now, a cappella, for those who may not know, is music without any instruments. So everything you're hearing is 100% live and 100% vocal. So there's no backing tracks, no drum loops, just 5 individuals, 5 voices. But one thing that ties everything all together is something called harmony. Now, one voice thing can be exciting and moving all by itself. But let's hear how much more richer it can sound when we add another voice to that. This is called vocal harmony, as we have more than one note being played or sung in our case at the same time to create chords.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I'm pretty sure you all understand, right? You all know that harmony isn't just when we sing, is it? Think about it, right? For a second, maybe when you're in class with your friends, right? You all are working on a project together. That's harmony, right? Ooh, or say when you're home with your families. You all are doing chores together around the house. That's still harmony. So for us, if we don't have harmony and we're not singing together, we can't have it when we are either.
That's right. And when you work in harmony as a team, well, you can do some pretty incredible things. Like this, look at this. How each person sings just one note. But when they all sing together, that's when we get that beautiful chord. So teamwork for us is super important. But how does teamwork work musically? Well, there's two things that we're thinking about. The first is tuning. Tuning means that we're trying to sing the notes on the correct pitches so that it all sounds good together. But if we aren't listening carefully to each other, we aren't working as a team, it can be really easy for those notes to slide a little sharp and flat. Chord goes out of tune and whoops. Now the other way we're working as a team is by blending our voices, controlling the volume and controlling the tone, the way it sounds, so that it all sounds as one. But again, if we aren't working as a team, listening carefully to match those voices, it can be really easy for one person's voice to stand out and just be too loud or too much.
I'm sorry.
So hopefully this gives you a good idea of how tuning and blend are two of the ways that we're going to come together to work as a team in order to create harmony.
All right, everybody. So we've shown you how we make harmony. Now we're going to show you how we build or arrange our songs. We usually start with Johnny. Now Johnny's our beatboxer, which means every single drum sound you're hearing is coming from him. Next up is my friend Kevin. Kevin is our bass. And basses, they sing really, really, really low. Next up, my friend Tyler. Now Tyler is our baritone. And baritones sing kind of low. Not as low as the bass, but still very, very important. And next, my friend Monty. Monty is our tenor. And tenors sing really high. Now, all these parts come back together just like this. Like that, like that, like that. So, put them together so we can take them back apart. This time, it's a voice sections. The first section is the rhythm section. The bass and the drums. To that groove and that feel, right? So we can clap and snap and move our bodies to the music. Yeah, but there's also the backing harmonies. The baritone and tenor parts, who fill in the gap in the middle, give the song a little bit more life. But there's something missing, right? We need the words, the lyrics, the story. So my name is Wallace, and that's my job for the song. Here we go. Captain Nashville State, that's the way it was. I've been so mentally, I did not know it was love. The next thing I know, you holding me close. What was I supposed to do? I let myself go. Now I'm lying, I hope this night will last forever. Oh, 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 oh. Ain't nobody knows me better. Makes me happy, makes me feel this way. Ain't nobody knows me better. Ain't nobody knows me better. You know. At first I put your arms around me. Baby, you put your arms around me. I can't resist this sweet surrender. Oh, my name's a tender. We stare into each other's eyes. Now what we see is no surprise, no slow. Oh, I've got a feeling most women treasure. Oh, in a love so deep we cannot control. Ain't nobody knows me, makes me happy. Ain't nobody, baby. Oh, makes me want to say yeah. Makes me feel this way.
All right. So now that you know how we make our music using our voices, let's talk about all the technology that we use. Or magic, I don't know. but that helps us to get the sound that we want out to you all. Now, you already know some of it, right? Like, what is this right here? You're wicked smart. All right, what about this? Oh, super smart. What about this stuff? Not quite, but it does have a piece of gear called the mixer that a lot of DJs use. This is what happens in between the microphones and the speakers that lets us control all the stuff. It's actually a number of different things. The antennas take up the signal from the microphones. This right here helps us to hear when we have the in-ear monitors, and the top thing there, the mixer, helps us to mix the sound together. Now, there's one thing that we can do when we have the microphones, and that is to add effects to the sound. It's not just about making it louder, although that helps, but when we add effects, we can do things to change the sound around. Now, who has heard of an effect called EQ? Anyone? Couple hands. Now, EQ lets you shape the sound using treble and bass. How many have heard of those words before? A lot. All right, excellent. To make sure we're all on the same page, treble is our music word for high. So can everyone in their highest voice say, treble? Excellent. Bass is our music word for low. So can everyone in their lowest voice say, bass? Excellent. Okay, let's give a demonstration so you can hear what this all sounds like. So I'm going to set this up here and get this iPad. I'm going to ask Kevin to come up and be my volunteer. And we're gonna watch TikTok videos. No, I'm kidding. Right here, using the touchscreen of the iPad, I can control that stuff over there and change Kevin's EQ, that treble and that bass. This is what he sounds like normally. Listen what happens when I take the bass, the low part of the sound, and turn that down. Doesn't sound very big anymore, right? Doesn't stop him from singing low notes, but now it doesn't sound as big when it comes out the speaker. Listen what happens when I take the treble, the high part, and I make that louder. Do you hear it brighten up the sound? Pretty good, huh? Now we're going to take the bass. I'm going to add that back in. Whoa! That's big, huh? Now listen when I take the treble, the high part, and turn that way down. Sounds amazingly terrible, right? Wait, no, not. Don't take it personally. It's just the EQ. Once you turn down all the treble, then it just sounds like mush. It's hard to understand what you're saying. It's hard to hear the notes that you're singing. So this EQ, this bass and treble thing, is really important to make sure that our microphones sound as good and as clear as possible. Now, as cool as that effect is, it's not the only effect we use, and there's one that's even cooler that's on Kevin's microphone. So as soon as I fix your microphone, you want to tell them about it?
Sure thing, John. Awesome. Hey everyone, so I'm Kevin, I'm the bass singer of the group, so that means I get to sing all of the really low stuff. So my singing will be a little bit different than the rest of the band when you really dive into it, but I want you all to remember this first too. We look here on stage, there are no instruments, no backing tracks, no looping effects. We don't use any of that. This is all 100% live. All of the sound and music you're hearing is coming from our voices. Now, well, as the bass singer, you can think of my part as the bass guitar of a band. Because, you know, all the upper voices here, they're singing a lot of O's and Ah's on different notes, building the chord of the music and the song. Well, my part, I'm singing a lot more dum-dum-dum-dum-dums, a lot of doo-doos, let's be real. But when I put that to notes and music and get the rhythm going, I can try to start sounding like a bass guitar, like a... That's like step one to get that bass groove and the sound going. But like Johnny mentioned, we have this one effect. It's actually a device we use. Oh, thanks, Johnny. Well, this is sitting right on the floor here. Hope you all can see it. This is called a bass pedal or a bass octavizer if you want to get really fancy. Because all I do, well, it sits here. I come over, I push this one button, and then my voice gets this really, really low sound added on. Can you all hear that effect? It's Good. It's it's a little subtle, but you know, when I talk normally, it sounds a little goofy. It sounds like a robot, right? But let's put this to music and see what happens and how this effect is actually used in our show. All right, here we go. Well, there you go. So, hopefully you could hear that effect when it was on. Oh, thank you, that one person. Now, just kidding. Hopefully. There we go. Thank you. Hopefully you could hear that effect when it was on and off. It was just pushing that one button, and it turned on and off. And that effect kind of helped my voice sound like a bass guitar a little bit, don't you think? And with that, it just filled up the space so much more with that low-end sound. And that's what we're going for. Now, along with that one effect, we won't use that effect all the time, but there's a lot of different other effects that a lot of different a cappella groups do use nowadays. Like, I know a group that has an effect where they push a button, gives these huge sweeping echoes, and all of these delays. Hello. Kind of like that. Thanks, Johnny. I mentioned the looper effect before a little bit. Well, that's when a singer comes out here on stage and they have their device all set up in front of them. So they start singing a part, but then they push a button, they sing a whole different part, because that previous part is going over and over. It's looping. So they repeat this process over and over until they built a whole song using just their one voice. That's really cool to see live. We actually just saw that recently. Now, there's also effects out there where you push a button, transforms your voice into a distorted guitar sound like you hear in a rock band. I kid you not. It's really, really cool to see all these different a cappella groups nowadays use technology to bring their show to a whole other level. And it's a really fun, neat experience, not just for the audience, but as performers. It's a lot of fun to use. We just push buttons and stuff happens.
It is really cool. But who thinks that we can do what we do without the microphones or the effects or any of that fancy magic over there? Oh, I appreciate your faith, but not everybody raised their hand, so I think we might need to demonstrate it. We can do it, but it does sound very different. So here's what it sounds like.
That is what you are. You're my golden star. You can make my wish come true. If you let me treasure you, let me treasure. Oh.
Alright everybody, let's do a quick recap, a quick review of what we sang so far today, right? The first song we sang was Dua Lipa, right? If you don't wanna see me, that's Dua Lipa. Oh, the second song, Ain't Nobody Loves Me Better, Makes Me Happy, Makes Me Feel This Way by a woman named Shaka Khan. Awesome artist. Oh, the song we just did, right? The on mic, off mic, that was Treasure, That Is What You Are by Bruno Mars. So for us, those are all called cover songs. Now, a cover song is when a musician or artist hears a song from somebody else and they think, yo, that song is awesome, we should perform it ourselves. But now I want to talk about original music, which means music that you write. All the notes, all the rhythm, everything comes from you. I'm curious, by a show of hands, has anyone here ever written a song before? Ooh, a lot of hands, I like it. Though, y'all, I'm surprised I don't see more hands especially from the adults, because songwriting is easy. It's one of the easiest things you can ever do. I figure if you got stuff going on in your heart, right, your emotions, and stuff going on in your head, your imagination, you can definitely write a song. Because all a song is a musical story, right? So, in fact, I think I need some help, man. Can someone here give me some emotions we can write a song about? I need some help. I need help. What kind of feelings or emotions? Yes. Ooh, love. I like it, right? It's on the radio. Lots of love songs. I like it. Ooh, and the hat. Yes. What kind of song? Happy. Okay, love, happy. I'm feeling them. I need one more. Yes. Oh, how does rock make you feel? How does that make you feel? Okay, good. I like this school, man. Y'all be surprised what I hear sometimes. So maybe you're feeling like love. Maybe you're feeling happy. I like it, yeah. Anyone here ever felt a little bit sad? I got 1 or 2 sad songs, right? Yes, good job. Yes, the blues. Anyone here ever been excited? Like you want to jump around? Yes. Yo, adults, teachers, ever been a little bit stressed out? See, song. Right. Song. Get to writing, y'all. See, all these emotions make for amazing songs. But they don't just have to go into songs. Maybe you want to play an instrument, or act, or play a sport, or draw. The thing is, however you choose to positively express yourself, we here at Ball in the House are all about that, so go be great. But maybe you want to dance. Anyone out there like to dance? I love to dance. Oh, that's great. Because for this next song, we're going to need your help dancing, okay? There are 4 moves. All right, everyone, repeat after me. Do this first move, bring your arm across your body, just like this. Good job. All right, second move, do the same thing with the other arm, across your body. Nice work. All right, now, the third move, I want you to pretend you have your favorite snack in your hand. You're gonna offer it to your best friend, like this. Yeah, like that. But then you think, wait, this is my favorite snack, not yours, I'm gonna take it back. I know it's mean, but offer it, be like, psych, it's for me. And the last move, I want you to pretend you're at a rodeo. You have a lasso above your head. All right, good job. So for this next song, we point to you. I want you to do those 4 moves, all right? Here we go.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Calling out around the world, are you ready for a brand new beat? Yeah, someone's here, the time was right for dancing in the street. Chicago, dancing in the street, down in New Orleans, dancing in the street.
a talented group. All right, I'd like everybody, if you're able, to stand up, and I want you to follow me. I want hands in the air like this. All right. Now the first thing we're gonna do, repeat after me. We're gonna now snap, 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 snap. Stomp, 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 stomp with right leg, left leg. All right, now I want you to make a big smile, and through your teeth, I want you to go. All right, I want arms in the air, and I want you to go with a TS. All right, I want everybody to sit right down where you are, on your bottoms, but hands still up in the air, and I want you to go boom as low as you can. Okay, this next one's a little tricky. I want you to smush together the sounds of the letters P and F like this. Fantastic. Okay, so we started off with some snaps and some stomps and some claps. All great sounds that we can use to add rhythm when we sing, perform, or even when we're just listening. But then we started making sounds with our mouth, and that is called beatboxing. Has anyone tried beatboxing before? I see lots of hands, and I love it. I love it. So, when we make those sounds, we want to put them in rhythm just like you just did. So, knowing that we have the for the cymbals and for the kick drum and for the snare drum, let's keep that in mind and let's try some patterns together. So listen and then repeat. It's really good. How about... Nice. How about... Get it right the first time. I love it. You're all like experts. This is awesome. Now, let's try this. When I do, but I slow it down, what might sound a little tricky is actually not that difficult. Because when it's really slow, it just goes. So try that. Breathe in between. Okay, a little faster. Faster. A hand, you all were fantastic at beatboxing. Super impressed. I love it.
Nice. Very cool, Johnny. Very cool. Now, hold on a second. Now, he sounded like an actual drum kit. Yeah? He sounds just like it. It's so cool that he's just making that noise with his mouth. It's coming from his voice. And that just goes to show you that your voice is capable of so many incredible things. And with all this beatboxing and singing, well, there's such a great history that goes behind all of this that spans hundreds of years. And when you dive into it, it's really fascinating to learn about. Now, before we dive a little bit into some history here, I do want to clear up one common misunderstanding or a misconception that a lot of people tend to have about a cappella and kind of what we do. So, many people believe that a cappella is a genre of music. When I say genre, that's rock, pop, jazz, R&B, soul, hip-hop, all that stuff. Now, a cappella is just simply another way to perform those genres. As long as it's with the human voice, that would make it a cappella. Well, now you might be asking yourselves, well, where did all of this singing and this style of music come from? Where does the history of a cappella actually begin?
Well, in many religions, instruments were not allowed. So the only way that they could make music for their services was by using their voice. So a cappella is Latin for in the church Or in the South, the church used to refer to that music made no services, but now refers to any music made without instruments. One of the earliest forms of a cappella is known as Gregorian chant. If you all listen very carefully to Wallace over here, he's singing an example of that, something totally different than what we've done so far today. So there's one voice, one melody, no harmony, no drums.
No drums? That makes me a little sad. But eventually, they did add harmony, but just one note, like that. So with two people, we have two-part harmony. But eventually, they learned to count and said we could do 3, or 4, or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or as many as they want, depending on how many people they had. But after a while, people said, 4-part harmony, that sounds really cool. Maybe not the best, but became the most common. And with 4-part harmony, you could sing different styles, like this madrigal right here.
Shoot for love I cannot, spend thy shafts and spare not.
And so, from there, we have to speed up a little bit to the 16 and the 1700s. And at that time in our nation's history, sadly, that was when the Africans were taken from their homes. They were enslaved and brought here to the early Americas against their will. But y'all, what they took with them was their music and their religion. They combined it with the music and the religion of the people who took them. And we got spirituals just like this one.
The trouble I see, nobody knows my sorrow. Oh, nobody knows the trouble I see. Glory, hallelujah.
Now, from there, we'll jump forward to the late 1800s, because from spiritual music, we'll evolve to 2 genres we know today. One being blues, and the one we're about to show you, gospel.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh yeah, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Yeah, man.
Yo, you all have no idea how much that warms my heart. You all singing that song with us. Oh, so from there, we have to speed up again to the early 1900s. And at that time in history, they didn't have the things we use today for music, right? So there was no YouTube, there was no Instagram, no Spotify, no TikTok. It was terrible, terrible. What they had though were the radios, but radios weren't playing music yet. So when people wanted music, they had to make it themselves. So what they would do, people would gather together. And while they would gather, they would talk about their lives, things that were going on, and they would sing. Which brings us to this next style of a cappella, which is known for its really tight harmonies. All of the singing and talking about their lives happened in the same place as people have their haircut. The barbershop.
1, 2, 3, 4, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power.
1950s, you had rock and roll, and friends would hang out on the street corner and sing rock and roll a cappella. But when they wanted to imitate that sound, they would use these silly nonsense syllables. They might say things like ram-a-lam-a-ding-dong, or doo-wop-a-doobie-doo, or random stuff like that. And because of these syllables, this style of music became known as doo-wop.
You saw me standing alone, without a tear in my heart, without a love of my
Love it. Thank you. And so, that brings us to today, where contemporary acapella uses all these different elements, right? From the beatboxing and all the pedals, everything. And it's not just all male groups like us. Maybe it's an all-female group like Musée or Stiletto or Women of the World. Or maybe even a mixed group too, like, oh, I don't know, Pentatonics, right? And we're using any way possible to get our songs to our fans. Songs kind of like this one. 1, 2.
I'm in the stars tonight, so I'll sing bring back Saturday night delight. Shoes on, get up in the park, from Memphis, rock and roll. King Kong, kick the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone. Sing song when I'm walking home, jump up to the top, run. King Kong coming on my phone, Ice Tea, and a game of ping pong. Get out, get the bass, boom, my face. I'm as sweet as the honey, yeah, it's getting like honey. Just go on the load, I'm into that, I'm good to go. Diamond, and you know it's so. Hey, so let's go! I'm in the stars tonight, so I think bring back the Saturday night light. Shining through the city with a little brighter soul, so I'm lighting it up like satellite. Bring a friend, join the crowd, whoever wanna come along. Word up, talk, this moon on me off the wall. There next, the skies are light, so we dance in the break of dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the medicine, you should keep your eyes on the ball. Ooh, slip, everything to the dance floor, I'm ready. Like the sweetest honey, and the sweet shit like money. Disco, overload, I'm into that, I'm good to go. I'm diamond, you know I'm slow. Hey, so let's go. I'm in the stars tonight, so I just bring back the Saturday night. Yeah, shining through the city with a little burning soul. I'm a light in my heart like dynamite. Oh, na 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 like the dynamite. Na 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 like dynamite. Shining through the city with a little burning soul. I'm a light in my heart like dynamite. Oh.
Thank you all so much. Now, at this point in our show today, we would usually take the time to have you ask any questions you might have for us. But sadly, we're running a little bit out of time, so here's what we can do instead. If you have any questions for us, about whether what we do, a cappella, or just being in a band, well, you can always go to our website, ballinthehouse.com. You can read up on our bio, see all these pictures, links to all of our music on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, and all that fun stuff. You might find some of your answers there. Or you could also send us an email, well, let's do this instead, actually. How about this? If you and your classmates have any questions for us, and maybe you get together, write down a list of those questions, and then teachers want to help us out here a bit. If you want to compile those lists, send us the email. We will make a video answering all of those questions for you. That'll be super fun to do. So, well, everyone, thank you all so much for having us this morning. We really feel like we became a part of this school and you welcomed us with open arms. So thank you all so much for that. We really appreciate that. Now, before we go, we look out into this young audience here today, and it was around your age or so that we all got involved and started in our own musical journeys. You know, whether it was piano lessons, singing, I remember strings in elementary school, I remember doing that. But for me personally, in 5th grade, you could go ahead and choose an instrument and join band at school. So I picked up the trumpet, and I fell in love with it, the way it sounded, the way I looked at it, and it was so much fun to practice and play. Now, I also remember at the same time, I love to play basketball, and that's my favorite sport to watch and play. So, I know, right? Now, keep this in mind. As you get older, you're gonna get a little bit busier with your schoolwork, activities inside and outside of school. However, you can still go ahead and play your favorite sport, whatever that may be, and still pick up an instrument in band and play in band at school. You can do both of those things at the same time. Don't ever feel like you need to give up one for the other. Maybe you and a group of your friends could all do it together. That'll make it even more fun. Now, you can still join choir and sing at school and still get involved in all of your academics. And eventually there will be, like science, math, history clubs, book club, all that fun stuff to join too. And we're not talking just about music. We're talking about all of the arts too. Whether you find a passion in drawing, acting, musical theater, dance, photography. There are so many ways to get involved and stay involved here in school. And music in particular, well, that'll be with you for the rest of your life, because wherever you go, music is everywhere. It helps us connect to one another. It helps us communicate. And it's such a great and fun way to express yourself. And you never know, if you work hard and keep practicing, maybe one day you might be able to travel the world and see everything like we get to. We are so lucky to be doing this for a living. Because, you know, when you put your mind to it, that's when you can accomplish anything. Now, before we go, we do have to give one huge thank you and shout out to all of your teachers, your paraeducators, staff, faculty, parents, music teachers. Thank you to all of you and all that you do for this school and for the students. All of the hours you put in every single day. Because it was people like you that inspires us to go live our dreams. And we get to right now. And thank you all so much again. We hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. I think you'll know this song. So, here we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. Ride till I can't no more go.
I don't think I know it.
Horses in the back, horseback is attached. Charismatic snatch, got the boots back to back. Ride from my horse, horse. Stopping in the valley, ain't been up before.
Ain't nobody tell me nothing.
Tell me nothing.
Ain't nobody tell me nothing.
You can't tell me nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. Ride till I can't no more. Take my horse to the old town road. Ride till I can't no more. Down, cross town, living like a rock star. Spending a lot of money on my brand new guitar. Baby's got a heavy diamond rings and Betty sports car. Riding down Rodeo in my Maserati sports car. God knows, guess I've been through all that. Like a Marvel man, so I keep going back. Got to roll on down to that old town road. I wanna ride till I can't. Yeah, I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. Ride till I can't no more. Take my horse to the old town road. Ride till I can't no more. Ride till I can't no more.
We appreciate it. Thank you all so much for having us. One thing we forgot to mention is that on April 1st, which is April Fool's Day, but this is not a joke, we are having a big, huge concert at Newton South High School. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be singing with a number of different student groups from Newton schools, And while we did this program here for you called Totally Vocally, this is going to be a different program. This is going to be a concert. It's going to be a lot of fun, both for students, families, staff, teachers. So look out for posters and info sent to the school. Again, April 1st, concert at Newton South High School, and hopefully we'll see you there. Thank you all very much. Bye-bye.